Okay. All right. We can begin now. Everything is good to go. And so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. The one and only item on the agenda today is something that we didn't have enough time to discuss last time, which is the Orem Arts Ambassadors program. And this is an idea that we've talked about briefly a couple times, but today we're going to dedicate the entire meeting just to this one topic so that we can really figure it out and hit it hard in 2024. So this is like the third time you've had to give this spiel, but do you mind one more time?
Not at
With
all.
feeling?
No, I mean, we've talked about this over and over again over the years, but and it usually comes up as it did this time again, when we start talking about producing more events as an organization, which we did 2 meetings ago. We were talking about doubling and tripling the number of concerts and things that we do as as a group. And I think there's a place for events for this group as well, especially areas that are not being met or served, right? That we find a need. Historically, though, our arts organizations, if you look at other arts councils even in just our valley, those that produce plays and produce concerts and arts walks and arts exhibits and all these types of things are because they don't have it, and so they feel all of the pressure of creating things. I'm just of the opinion that we don't have a shortage of things in Orem necessarily. And we've never talked about producing plays in this organization or in this group, but we have a lot of organizations that are doing concerts, and we have a lot of organizations doing live theater and art shows and exhibits and all kinds of things. And I think one thing that's always weighed on my mind is, especially, just take, for example, just the care recipients. Do they know who we are? Do they feel supported by us? Have we ever shown up at their opening or closing night? Have we, we've brought this up over the years too, maybe we spend some of this money instead of on pizza, maybe we designate, you're going to go to this show and you're going to go to that show and you're going to go to this show, or are there ways we could spend what very little money we have in a way that would be supportive and that sort of thing? Are there gaps that we as an organization can help fill, or bridges that we can help build? As we learned last time in our meeting, there's lots of new ideas out there, groups that want to do things, but they don't know how to connect A and B or B and C. And, can we be a resource for those kinds of people? So I that's just something that I've kind of brought up in the past too. And whether it's ambassadors or maybe it's just Orem Arts Council, and I can speak to my own personal experience over the years. I've for many years I've given season tickets to this organization, and our attendance sometimes is good and sometimes isn't, or whatever. And it's no harm to us. I don't feel like, hey, you're not supporting us, in any way. But I think there are organizations that don't even know we exist.
Yeah.
And I think there are organizations that would love to know that we exist and love to know how we can help them. And I think there's some, for a long time we talked about, are there ways that we can better publicize for them? Because that's an area that a lot of them struggle. Hey, we've got a great idea, we've got a great group, we've got a great director. How do we get the word out and fill the house, even if it's a free event? How do we get the word out? And so we started doing a lot of things with a website and a Facebook page and all that sort of thing. And we quickly learned that we would be better off to just help with things that already exist and feed stuff to that, rather than try to train people to go somewhere else. They're already going to now playing Utah and some of these other very well established things. But are there things we can do to encourage the city to put things in the playbill? Listen to me. The utility bills or the city newsletter. Could there be a section designated to here's what's happening this month? you know, anyway, I would just like to see kind of twofold. One, the community knowing that we exist more, and in the way that we're informative to them and a resource to them, but also to the arts organizations and those producing exhibits and art, that they feel supported by us and connected because of us. So that's.
Yeah, that makes sense. I talked to you, Adam, after the meeting, not the last one, the one before that. And that's made a lot of sense to me. You made a lot of sense. And so I typed up this email and sent it to you, Pete. And then you said, well, yeah, this is what we want to talk about. And I don't know if I hit on it right, but I think I understand the concept, which is we're not going to stop doing things as far as art. We're still going to do the farmers market. We're going to have music. That'll be us, I assume. Maybe a few other things, but the majority of our effort is supporting the arts, especially the care tax people. People get the care tax because that's our money that we need to oversee, right? We have a stewardship for that money and for those people, especially. So that's what I'm hearing, and you know, that we should do, and I agree with this. That we need to focus and not be in competition out there with anybody, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the general sentiment, right? That you're trying to express, that we're supporting. And
I've been in this arts council since it was started, since we did the very first care tax. And that's what I gathered, that the whole purpose of the arts council was how that money was to be dispersed and how it was to operate. I mean, that's what it was originally formed for.
Okay.
It wasn't formed until we got the care tax passed.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think we just sort of drifted off.
And we're on the verge of an election that could or could not pass it again.
that's right.
I'm sure it probably will. But
Yeah.
keep your fingers crossed.
No, that's great history. I didn't realize that they were kind of one and the same, born at the same time.
They were.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Might be really helpful for those of us that haven't been in it since the beginning to even know what organizations the care tax supports.
Yeah, we can share a list.
We don't always
Yeah.
know.
I like the idea of having a spot in the newsletter. In fact, it'd be great if we could hear how many people open the newsletter.
Yeah, so
Do we know that?
we do. Yeah, so the digital one goes anywhere between 8,500 and 10,000
Okay.
opens.
Okay.
We've got a list of 20,000 people.
And so what I think, to go along with what Adam and Cody were saying too, is then maybe we could take a month, right? It's my month to write the 3 sentences.
Uh-huh.
We don't want long, right?
Yeah,
3 sentences, and I could say, well, I went and saw the art museum that was part of the care tax, right? And I'm do that, and I think that would do a couple different things for us.
That's a great
Promote
idea.
us as well as promote.
Remote.
you
I
know.
hate to just pigeonhole us into care tax only, because there are a lot of organizations that
Sure.
either don't apply for funds or aren't structured in a way that they can ask for funds. I mean, UVU, for example, can't get care funds because they're more than a certain percentage funded by the state of Utah. But there's a lot of great things happening in Orem at UVU that we need to highlight as well. There's a lot of smaller, very small groups that don't even really have an organized board, maybe not even articles of incorporation. So that alone eliminates them from care, but I think that they would benefit from Arts Council support and help too. So I would hate to just pigeonhole us into the care only, but
Could we get that added to the list? Does it have to be just I guess we could get on online and say what's in Orem, right? Or whatever, but it'd be nice if we kind of had a general list of all the arts that we should be supporting, right? And then that way we could be the speakers of hey, it was great. I went to that choir concert, right? And man, it was awesome.
Well,
well, and Mike,
I
that
don't
might
need to
be a
raise-
list that we have to help create
No, that's what I'm
as an
wondering,
organization too,
Yeah.
add to our list kind of thing.
It's interesting that when this was all formed, just going back to the beginning again, I was under the impression that we were the ones that were going to decide where that money went. But no.
they created another. There was another board, right? Created.
Well, there's the care commission. This started out as the arts commission or arts. It was something else where we did with Mark and Mary Robinson, and we did a whole art strategic plan and, all this kind of stuff. But, and then from that came the care commission, and the city council decides where the funds go by state law. That's not something we can ever change really, but
Right.
but we, I think, and the care commission is great. That's made up of citizens as well. And that's all they focus on is care. I think our scope is much broader than that. And, beyond care is just supporting the arts in Orem and letting people know why Orem's so great and how we can support and fill the house for these people, whether they charge for admission or do it for free. Are we aware ourselves of what's going on and how we can be present?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me, and I think and I don't know, because I've only been on this, I think, March or something. But it seems that then I wasn't really clear that was what our objective is. But by clarifying what our objective is, then you can take these 10 people and we can go out and do something because we have an interest, obviously, in the arts. And so we can be a powerful force out there and back each other up and use all the things that you have to offer us to get the information out.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. I'm totally behind this. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Well, this group was very involved in building the stage at the Center Park, and we were very right down to the look and feel of the roof and the stage and everything. Because every year the city was renting a stage and renting all these things and renting lights and renting. So that was a focus of us for many years, of getting that stage, getting the money, getting the, all the things and making that happen. So we have our own permanent stage where we're not renting every year and covering the base with bunting or something, and so now we have something beautiful that's permanent. And that turned into, now what do we put on it? And so, we kind of went down that road because of that. Well, I think we could spend so much time producing 10 and 15 and 16 concerts, like we were talking about 2 months ago, that
We don't have time now to support
we're forgetting everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. While you're thinking about maybe some different ideas, I want to give some time to Karina, who's our events coordinator. She just wanted to do a quick plug for Lights On.
Whoop, whoop. Speaking of care, so we're doing 3 performances for the Lights On. So we'll have the Lake Ridge Junior High Jazz Band will be performing, and then we looked at the cares list because we wanted to make sure we got a performer from there. So Sherry Smith is a storyteller, so she'll be going up on stage and performing story time, and then we'll also be having another sound checks performing after that. But Lights On is well on its way. It's almost here. The park is pretty much done with all the lights being
Has
set
anyone
up.
driven by at night and seen them putting the lights up?
I think they're trying to be very secretive about it.
Yeah.
They only do like one tree at a time for 10 seconds and then they hurry and turn it off. They're like, nope. But yeah, so 80% of the park will be lit up. And then, so that is pretty much done. And then we'll be having Santa Claus will come. Big news. The Orem City bought a new train and it has come. So we have a brand new train that will be doing like train rides at the event. We'll actually have 2 trains there, so then we can help with like line management and getting people on the train. It's a real trackless train.
You just drive on the ground.
Yeah. Sidewalks. Yeah. Yeah. So you drive on, it's a trackless train that you can go on the sidewalk. You can fit
A surprising number of people in it.
Surprising number
Yeah.
of people, like at least 20, depending on the kid size of how many you want to squish in a cart, but we're really excited about that. So that came in, and then we'll have Santa there. Bring the whole family. It's going to be a really big event. We'll have free hot cocoa. We'll have donuts. We'll have writing some letters to Santa Station with the royalty. We'll have Adam there with all your amazing help with our sound.
You're gonna be
Because-
doing some
Come and
MC.
see me.
That's
yeah,
right.
come see Adam.
Show Adam
because
some
he,
support.
he is supporting us with the
I'll be in
sound.
the background, hiding behind the tree.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
It's just gonna be happening at the,
City Center stage and
Stage.
City Center Park. So
That's Monday, right?
Mhm.
Next-
not this Monday, but the
Monday.
fall, the Monday after Thanksgiving. So it starts at 5, and then the performance or like stage performance will start at 5:30. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm missing. It's gonna be very
The holiday
decorated.
market.
Oh, and then we will be having a holiday market that will be taking half of the park. So like one half the train will be doing its fun thing, and then on the other half we'll have a holiday market there. Stage performance, Santa. Well, also something that's different is we're doing like instant print. So when you come and take your photo with Santa, you'll be able to leave with a printout of you and your family taking a photo with him. So that'll be really fun.
so we're gonna have them, some of the Arts Council stand up and
Yeah.
say something like, Adam or something
Mhm.
who says,
Yes.
I don't know, introduces
Got videos coming. out.
the show or something, you know?
I mean, we definitely can. We currently,
We've been doing
I know in the past we've always had the mayor just be an MC, but
Yeah.
if we wanted someone else to be an MC to introduce the mayor and introduce the programs, we can go that route.
I think introducing the musical numbers might be good.
Or introducing the musical numbers would also be great. So yeah, that is something that is
That's not
easy
me
done.
though. I would love for somebody else to,
Yeah, you're up there enough.
that, well,
You know sound check, don't you?
I'm running the sound
Yes, I
that
know
night.
sound
So
Oh,
Yeah.
are you?
Oh, awesome.
Chase.
And I have the mic set up that barbershop quartets use. So I could help with that. We get so sound check is barbershop quartet,
Mhm.
and we do an XY pattern with small diaphragm condenser mics, cardio pattern, and yeah, I've got the equipment to be able to do that.
let's talk after. I think we've already met with them and are bringing condenser mics. Just exactly what they've asked for, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
So yeah, I think it would be great if we had a member of this council go up and help introduce. We'll also have little Miss Orem. How old did we figure out she was?
She's pretty young, like 7, 8.
She's like 7 or 8. She'll
Yeah.
be performing as well.
Did she like do a pageant or something? How'd she become?
Yeah, it's like during Orem Fest. They
Yeah.
do like a little Miss Orem
Oh,
like pageant, and
Uh-huh.
so she'll be singing as well. But I'm trying to think of what else. If we had one of you guys introducing,
Well, is there a way we could quickly combine a list of the next few weeks of things? Maybe we could talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff happening at the library. Do you have any? Is anyone going to talk about that?
no, I didn't have it. We were just focusing on the mayor, Gold Star family,
Yeah.
and then flipping on the switch.
Because
But
the musical performances are after kind of the program, right?
Mhm. So how it's gonna start is at 5 o'clock. The jazz band will play for 30 minutes.
mhm.
And then we'll start the program. We'll have the mayor speak. And then we're gonna be honoring a Gold Star family and talking about like the Gold Star monument that we are working towards. Right after that, the idea is to have royalty lead the crowd into singing Santa's coming into Santa. Is that the song?
Santa's coming to town.
Yeah, Santa's coming into town. And so while the crowd is singing, the train is going to be coming from a corner with Santa coming in on the train. He'll hop off the train, come onto the stage. We'll finish singing it. He'll be jolly as jolly can be. And then we'll invite the family that we are honoring and Santa to flip on the switch. And then right when we flip on the switch and the lights come up, the jazz band will play like a Christmas melody following that. And then we'll clear the stage and start getting everyone ready to go take photos with Santa. And while we're clearing the stage, that's when little Miss Orem will perform, and we're clearing like the jazz band. She'll perform, then we'll have the storyteller go up and start her section, and then right after that, it will be sound checks, and then that's it. That's the end of it. But we can like plug in there to be like, and then the Arts Council member will go up and introduce
Yeah.
the band.
Because one of the
or
things the
introduce
library
them.
wants to see is they have their concert series, their Christmas concert series. and it's, I don't know, 4 or 5 different concerts, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe more. And that might be something nice we could do for them to help promote what they have going on over the holidays.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which we could definitely could plug in. Who
Yeah.
do you think would want to do that?
Anyone want to be kind of like the voice of that? We'll write up the script and give you all the details, but someone
To
wants to be,
represent both library and council?
Mhm.
Yes.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Plug your on in.
we'll get you a
Easy.
script and you just kind of have to do the spiel and then you'll be good to go.
Are there any others that anybody knows about right off the hand? I mean, we should plug Christmas Carol. And
If you want.
what else?
What do you guys have going on that's holiday related?
Christmas Story.
Christmas story.
Christmas Story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a choir doing something, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll try to gather all that together and kind of intersperse those little commercials, if you will, throughout the performances.
Okay. I think that it's gonna be a big event. Like I said, bring the family. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we'll go from there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you,
gonna head
Karina.
out.
Appreciate it.
Quick question, is there
Yeah.
a possibility in the future, whenever we need some performers like that, we could get some from UVU?
Possibly, like, we wanna plan that way out, because
Sure.
I know we've got like choir concerts going on in depth probably for the next week and a half or
Yeah.
so. Right, but they're on this schedule all.
A year.
Stuck with that.
If
I-
we knew there was something, maybe for next year, we could grab some of your students.
Are you a good primary? Because I reached out to UVU because I was seeing if any student performers would want to come. And that's why I ended up going with the Lake Ridge Junior Band, because I was trying to go education, try to get a school. But are you a good contact for if we wanted to go that route?
Yeah, me or Alex, who's
Or
not
Alex.
here today, but
Okay.
yeah, both of us are embedded.
That's great. That's really good to know because I really want to build like a really strong relationship with UVU and like have you guys at all events. So,
And I think this type of thing, if we had a little bit more time, maybe we
Yeah.
could have a flyer to hand out with a schedule of December events or a bookmark or, something that we create. Orem Arts Council at the bottom,
Yeah.
and we hand out at this event.
yeah,
It's not even too late to do that now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could create that, I think we should hand that out.
we could create that and hand that out.
Yeah.
And then put it on your Orem newsletter, a link to it, and so they always wanna start planning. And
Yeah.
give them the tools.
Well, and we could do this type of thing in 11x17 for every month.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That with our logo at the bottom and this is,
yeah,
and those
Yeah.
could go all over the city.
Because we're already going to be handing out like little light up wands. So we could just hand them out with the wands
mhm.
to everyone that gets it.
I wonder if there's a way, not only it's that or any newsletter we have, say, you have an event. that you'd
Mhm.
like to have support
Yeah,
on,
crowdsourcing.
it's
QR code.
To something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
QR.
we won't know about all of them, and there are these little choirs or groups or things like that we may not.
Even
Yeah.
just a QR code that goes to an email of add your event.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
good idea.
Would be you. Do your senior students, are they all required to have like a final performance? That's a public event?
The music majors do, I believe they have some sort of recital requirement on all of these.
Is that something that they would want public to show up to, or?
I mean, I could ask the music department, for sure. I mean, they're publicly advertised as part of like UVU's offering, so I mean, it's out there.
Well, I think so much with UVU is like you guys are doing a great job getting your word out there. It's just kind of linking on to what you're already producing, right? Like making sure that people know in the community know that they're invited to UVU. They can come to the performances.
Is
Yeah.
Tracy still there? No.
I love the idea that before December or before February, let's say, that I can look on somewhere on in Orem's website or and I can see what I'm gonna plan to do ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one thing. I mean, there are a couple of Facebook pages or different things happening in Utah Valley or whatever, but it would be nice if there was just the Orem one.
Yeah.
And I can sit there and plan it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. In fact, if we participate in a little write-up, we could say on there, okay, where am I going this month, right? What am I gonna go see? Last month I saw this choir or whatever, this, that, we could, and kind of be a little bit of a reviewer, maybe in a sense, right?
Yeah. I think there's like real value in that. And, we've been trying to like especially with our businesses, like really like essentially like give them like little reviews and
Yeah.
feature them, highlight them each week.
Yeah.
And it's been working out really well. So, and people are discovering new businesses, new restaurants that they never even knew were here. So the same thing could happen for the
We tried
arts.
all the pizzas.
Exactly. We've done it. Yeah.
Highlight
Just a little,
something you may not have been to before.
yeah.
So,
And like a testimonial is really powerful. Like, you know, if we had just 30 seconds with you, like, hey, I saw this choir, they're great, you're gonna love it. Like that goes a long ways, I think, with people.
So you're saying before and after the show? I mean, one.
Well, you might say what I saw last month, but this is, now I'm looking to see what's going on this month or something like that. You might have to do both, right? Cause we're only gonna have.
I like the idea of like a did you know? You know,
Yeah.
series or
Mhm.
something. I mean, there's probably groups out there that we've never heard of that have been around for 80 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe a little history lesson of who they are and what how they got.
Yeah, I just joined the pipe band, the Thomas Cordner Memorial Pipe Band in Orem. Who's heard of that? Yeah,
Who knows who Cordner is?
the first
You do.
person to win her over in Orem. And I just said, I told him, 'cause he's like struggling for money and he's asked to do everything himself. I said, let's get you on and have you a care tax group, you know, and support you. And so I think, and he didn't know what it even was, you know.
Mhm.
And so I think you're right. There's those out there that they're just like struggling, like, how do I even get an audience? They don't know.
Yeah,
We can help them.
absolutely. Any other ideas for ways that we can help support the arts locally?
But what about this idea of lining up each of us with certain groups to get the care tax? You know, so each of us have however many. So we say, all right, I'm gonna make sure I support those 4 or 5 or 10, however many there are. Well, how many care tax recipients are there?
Let me pull up this list here real quick. There's not as many as you might think.
Right.
It would be doable for a group this size.
Yeah.
You may have 1 or 2.
So yeah, so we each have a couple and we call them up. We say, okay, I want to know what is happening with your organization. And then we have a place then to plug that information in. And then we go, obviously, to their opening show. And we say, please, you know, if you could give me just a second, because I want to plug it. And just say, you know, we're the Arts Council, we are, and you can go to this website and find out all the activities happening here in Orem, all the events. And then just plug them, say these guys are great and we support them completely. You know, I think they'd be thrilled.
Well, and maybe we could start with them as we're gathering the rest of the list that aren't CARES.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because then once we visited our 2 guys, then maybe we can have 2 that aren't CARES tax people that are assigned to us, right?
Yeah.
We could do the same thing. So pat them on the back and tell them that we're trying to support them as well.
Whether they get care or not,
Yeah,
I
or
think
not,
our
yeah.
our role is to support them and help them. What are their needs? You know, what are they lacking or what are they, how can we help?
but care tax people would be our priority, right? Because we're giving them money.
I-
We want to make sure that money is.
I don't think so. I mean, the city council.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reporting. If you get care money, there's a lot of reporting. There's a lot of accountability already in place.
Right,
So I don't know that we're an accountability group. I think we're more of a support and all of them are gonna say, help us with publicity.
right,
That's just
right.
so that's one area where I think we can help, but there's other ways that we're gonna learn as we meet with these groups of ways that this group can help and even just coming back to this group and each of us telling about the one place we
Sure.
went. All of us are gonna learn about the one place you went, Scott, that none of us knew about before, you know, and so I think that's gonna be informative for us and for the
And after
greater,
a year's time, we should be able to cover a big portion,
absolutely.
not all of them, right?
Well, and there's been a lot of groups over the years. We used to have groups come and present to us, just like we did last month. I want to bring this to Orem. There was one year a medieval group that wanted to do something at Nilson's Grove. And they wanted to bring a whole festival here and you know, they were asking us to support and help them and encourage the city. You know, all the things they would have to do that, they were asking us to help them. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if we didn't give them enough support or what happened. They ended up doing it in Lehigh and instead, but I mean, there's other groups like that would love to be in one of our parks or do something in our city. And I think we might even learn of those that are outside of our city and encourage them to come to Orem, you know?
Yeah.
Does this council support the visual arts in any way?
Yeah,
The visual
yeah.
arts?
for sure.
I remember the Old Quarry Museum at the mall,
Mhm.
was a place I used to go when I was in art school here, so. Is that a connection that anyone has to the Woodbury Museum still, or is it?
That's a UVU museum.
It
and
is a
it's-
UVU.
It's not at the mall anymore. It's moved into Lake Mountain Manor.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
old Bastion residence.
Yeah.
And opened just a few months ago, but they have a lot of programming that they're doing there. Including, like Saturday, interactive art for children and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's something we could turn into as well.
Are we continuing or not continuing the Orem Stories project that Cindy had worked on for so many years? Is that something, that was an art emphasis?
Was that in the library?
No, it was this group, but mostly Cindy.
I think it took place in the library.
It was in, yeah, the exhibit was in the library, yes. But it was all Orem Stories and we did that for several years, but I wondered if that was going away with her. But I mean, that's something that we encouraged people in high schools and the school educators to participate in. That was, you know, one of our get people involved things.
Right.
What kind of organizations and, for instance, performances are we looking at?
Yeah, so I have the list. There's 15 performing groups that receive care money. And, you know, a lot of them are choirs. The symphony is one, Sarah, the ballet, and there's a pipe band on there, Shakespeare Festival. And then there's a story, like a storytelling one. So that's kind of like what most of them are.
I know this probably wouldn't be what we want to do, but every single high school and junior high school in Orem have Christmas concerts.
Right.
They're instrumental, people have Christmas concerts, their choirs, everybody, and I guess they do their own advertising, but probably what happens is that their mothers and fathers and grandfathers, aunts and uncles come.
Right.
But is that something what we might want to list in addition to the others, or?
Yeah, I think if they submitted it,
That's a
it'd be,
lot.
yeah. If they submitted it, it'd probably be something we'd want to display. I mean, at the Sierra on Monday, we had this little performance from the acapella group at Mountain View. They were amazing. Did you get a chance to hear them?
Was that for Glorious?
Yeah, Motive is the name of the group. They were incredible. They're like to me, they sounded professional level. You know, they're just really, really good. So it'd be cool.
And the
to,
Shotnets.
and the Shotnets were there.
That was the Kindness Week kickoff event.
Yeah. And there was a couple other groups, you know.
I think we just need to, right, we're sort of the middle of the dissemination of information. Right?
Yeah. I see us being kind of a one-stop shop for finding out about arts and Orem.
Right.
You know, this
So
is,
everything,
we want to
like
be kind of like
schools,
the one
right.
that puts it out there.
Private schools, public schools. I mean, at some point, well, I don't know, we could put everything. I mean, it's digital. It's not hard.
Yeah.
So what are the takeaways here? What are we going to what are we going to take away from here and start?
Well, I think, you know, we'll definitely do the newsletter piece. We'll do the social media features, the website. This is some of the things that I wrote down. I think we have the list here that I can send out. And we can start divvying up who's going to be the point of contact. Because if some of you already have relationships with some of these groups, it might be natural that you take those. There's 15, there's 10 of us. So
Some of us are the group.
some of you are the groups, exactly. So like Cries of Freedom, right?
Yeah,
Who are we going to get to reach out to that one?
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sarah, Health Center.
Yeah, it kind of takes care of itself in a lot of these cases.
Yeah, but I need to train myself, hey, I'm on the Arts Council and then tell them about how to tap into our information sources.
Yeah.
We need to sort of get scripted in our heads. wherever we go, it needs to be pretty easy too. There has to be like one place we say, this is where you go, so put your event, and this is where you go to find out about events.
Mhm.
And I guess the contact information of who's in charge, maybe, and if they want to be a part of that,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, I'd like to be in that.
Well,
So,
and I think there's a lot of things we can do, and we need to probably have a budget discussion at some point, but ways to, and to pay for it, but ways to appreciate. I mean, for years, we would circulate, what, Cody? 2 or 3 dozen cards, and we all would sign them, and these would go out to people and say, congratulations for the, you know, your show, or thank you for all you do, you know, and that came from us, and so there was some kind of you know, those little personal touches, maybe it's something, maybe it's a sleeve of crumble cookies that we send from the Orem Arts Council on an opening night, or I don't know what it is, but something that, you know, always with our identity and our logo, but what, you know,
Yeah.
something from us. What do we do? What do we stand for? What is, you know, what would they? And we're, like I said, as we meet with these people, we're gonna learn, as we say, how can we help you? Where do you need support? We're gonna learn things that we can, maybe niches that we can fill, you know, as an organization.
yeah, I think this is all good. We just need to be out there more. This is not what we do only. This is where we get our marching orders. And so far, for me, it's been like, not, it's hard to know where to branch out to, you know, like I'm on the Arts Council. What do I do? And I think this is good. So, do we have a specific place then where we can direct people?
Yeah, we'll create one. I'm thinking just orem.org/arts,
Yeah,
you know, and that'll be the home for all things arts and Orem.
We had that. Is it still there?
Yeah, didn't we used to have a calendar that had all the events all mapped out? And
Yeah, I mean, we probably did. I
We
think,
did, and then that's when Charlene's kind of said, now Playing Utah is kind of doing that, you know, and even the Utah Cultural Alliance combined efforts with Now Play, so we started just feeding that and connecting to that. But I think there are things we can do that say, these are things in Orem only.
yeah.
You know, here's a list of things in Orem only, and be inclusive. You know, we have to vet them a little bit, you know,
Sure.
we don't want
Yeah.
some crazy event in a garage or something, you know, but maybe we do, I don't know. But I mean, we need some way to submit an event,
But your band. it's
you
not
know,
pretty
that
good.
we, well, I was going somewhere crazier than a band, but no, I'm just saying that some way that they could submit an event, but then there's a clearinghouse of some sort before it adds to the list, but just things that, you know, try to be as collective as possible.
What we might need in order to make sure that they're appropriate for the website is with a checklist of things that the event needs, right? So that way, it is inclusive of things that might be very different, but meet the checklist, right? But that might weed out things that are a suspect thing in someone's garage, right? That we might not necessarily want to promote, right? But we do have to allow for some weird stuff. People are into
Sure.
weird art. So, you know, there's a variety of interests across our city, and we've got to make sure we're meeting all of those.
Mhm.
And not just.
Is it legal?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. His standard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we're judging it by just the case in this room, we may not be covering
Right.
everyone.
Sure.
It may just be weird to us, but not. everyone
Right,
else.
correct.
Is there any liability on the part of the city if we recommend an event and then it turns out to be something happens at the event, or it turns out to be dangerous or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely opens it up to the lawsuit. You know, people will try. You know, I don't know if it actually does, but I mean, we do have to be, you know, that's why I think starting with the care recipients is a safe beginning. You know, we build those relationships, we really promote them, we know who they are, we've seen their work over, you know, now 2 decades. You know, so that's a good place to at least get this rolling and then branching out as we go, I think.
I have a question. What about like some kind of Christian thing during Christmas, like a nativity or something like that? I see a lot of Santa Claus and reindeers, but why, is there a reason that we don't do any of that anymore?
I mean, I think it's more about just trying to not exclude anybody. I don't think there's any like legality about it. It's more of just trying to make people not feel like they're excluded from these community events.
Well, true, but if we're gonna branch out to some groups, we gotta branch out to all of them, you know? And that's definitely not a exclusive group. The Christian group around here is the most strongest group, you
Mhm.
know? So I think having a nativity,
Wouldn't it get represented then in a lot of different ways? Does it need to be represented at the city level?
I think it should. I
Well,
think it should.
there are different policies. For many, many years, I was part of a group that did, it was called Young Audiences. And we would go to schools and perform. There were quite a few of them. And this was a brass group, but we were told right from the very beginning when we did our December show, you cannot have any Christmas music, whether it's religious or even Santa Claus is coming to town.
Wow.
And that's weird.
Yes.
There were.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
don't play
Yeah.
Christmas stuff at Christmas. Okay, that's pretty ridiculous. I think we could be a little more loose. So I'd like to see something like that, you know, just a little bit, so it's not just completely snuffed out.
Mhm.
You know, it's just like Santa Claus is it, that's it. You don't see one Christian emblem anywhere, you know?
Well, I think if we're gonna reach out to that, then we have to be more inclusive and we have to do Kwanzaa and we
Yeah.
have to do Hanukkah and. we
Let's
have
do
to
it.
All of them, which is fine,
If they
Just a
come
lot of
to
work.
us.
but we can't just focus on one thing, even if it is the dominant culture.
I
A good
think-
organization to reach out for that would be UBU's Interfaith group, because they have like a huge council of like 20 different faiths that all meet
Yeah,
together
let's
every
do
week.
it.
If they wanna come, we say it's open to everyone. Cause we're gonna do this Christian thing, and so we're gonna let everyone, the Jews and the Hare Krishnas come and do their thing too. But if they say, oh, it's okay, we don't wanna come, okay, that's up to you,
That's great.
you know, but we reach out and we say, we would like you to come.
Who
They said
do
no.
we reach out to do the Christian thing? It can't be us, it has to be a group, right? If we're reaching out to groups.
Yeah, in the past we've done Utah Valley Interfaith. Like anytime we've dipped into something like this, it's always been through them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then more groups are represented.
Yeah, perfect. I just like to see that more. The religious aspect, whether we're religious or not, it's a big part of it's a huge part of our culture.
But again, that's finding the event and helping to publicize and not creating the event, right? So, but it would be cool if the interfaith group would get together and sing some songs in the park with candles. I mean, that's kind of fun,
Yeah.
you know, but we're not
They do like
producing the
a
event.
Handel's Messiah sing along. I know that's one of their events
Yeah.
that they put together. So yeah.
Well,
There's
this
gonna be
is-
events that cover what you're talking about.
I mean, this event we're talking about with the opening of the Christmas season. I don't know, is that an event? I mean, we're doing Santa Claus, he's coming in and everything.
Mhm.
Can we say, but there is another aspect here. And we can reach out and bring in the other faiths. Great, I think that's perfect, but I think it ought to be out there instead of saying, no, we don't.
Well, I think you'll probably see some of that in the performances, like, we got this barbershop quartet, like, they may sing
Okay.
some Christmas hymns,
Okay.
so it'll be represented, I'm sure.
Anyway, I just want to throw that out because I don't want to be so worried about it,
Mm-hmm.
that we can't do that. I think we should.
Well, so it sounds like probably we want to be as exclusive or inclusive as possible. Maybe we start with the city folks,
Mhm.
attorneys, whoever, and give us the basics
Yeah.
of this checklist.
Right.
And then we can add to that if we feel like we want to add to that, and
Yeah, 'cause
then
we've
we have
had
something to
gospel
go.
choirs perform here, so I know that
Yeah.
there's an avenue, so.
Calvary Baptist Choir is always pulls a huge audience.
Yeah.
I love it.
one of the best nativities in town used to be right over here across the street.
Yep.
I'm not sure they still do it, but it was live, I think.
Mhm.
live
Wow.
nativity,
That's cool.
Close to here, right?
That's
So,
nice.
Yeah.
But that's another event. I think they still do midnight mass on Christmas Eve. And it's a community sing along. I mean, that would totally qualify for our calendar.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'd just like to see that somehow so that people can say, okay, there is an avenue and I just need to plug in. I also don't care who it is.
Mhm.
It can be the Mormons, it can be the Jews, it can be the Hare Krishna, I can care less. You know, but I think everyone has at Christmas, they know what in their mind what Christmas is all about.
Mhm.
And if they don't see any representation of what they know Christmas is all about, they're gonna go, that's really not my type of Christmas. You know what I mean? That's just, I think to be inclusive, we need it. And fine, open it up to everyone. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Any other comments? We're just about at time. We have a lot to do, but we'll get it going.
What do we need to do, I guess, going out of here?
Yeah, so I think my first step was send out a spreadsheet with all of the groups listed. And then if you'll just put your names next to the ones that either you have relationships with or the ones you're interested in developing that liaison relationship. I think that's a great place to start. We'll start building a schedule for who will have the monthly message or like the monthly little blurb. And then we'll start setting up the website and just kind of get this ball rolling based on the things we discussed today.
And by the way, even though I am a care tax recipient, I would rather actually have an arts council person come if it's possible. If it's not, I come out there in my costume, you know, when I'm introducing our show. And it's kind of change personas a little bit, you know. So I can, that's fine, but if someone could, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. Well, appreciate it. This was a productive meeting. I'm glad we spent the time to talk about the Arts Ambassadors program because it's a big thing and I think it's going to be great going forward.
Hey, is that it?
I think that's it. Unless anyone else.
Thanks. I just want to say this, Pete, you're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I really appreciate how open you are to all this and inclusive of everyone's ideas and stuff. You're just doing great.
I love it. I feel like it's the arts that make a city special. And so I appreciate you guys being involved and making it happen to give Orem that, that touch.
Exactly.
We did decide to meet every month, right?
Yeah. So we'll get our December meeting scheduled. How is everyone sticking around? Like, so let's see what it looks like. Because if we did it kind of the third Friday.
What we do next month,
Mm.
if we meet in December, we also maybe get the next 6 months of meetings on.
Oh, just set up it ahead of time.
Yeah, just like get it on a rotation so that, some of us live and die by the calendar. And so getting it on early is always better.
Yeah,
If it's
absolutely.
not on, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah, it's not even real.
Yeah.
I don't just,
Are we saying the third?
does the
Friday.
third Friday work if we make that kind of our standard?
Yeah, that would be the 15th.
Yeah.
If you want to just do the third Friday. That's good.
Okay.
That down.
Well, we'll just get that set up, and I like your suggestion, Rob. We'll get the 6 months scheduled.
Thank you.
There might be some third Fridays that we don't want.
Yeah.
So, but generally speaking, it's third Friday. So. All right. Good job.
Okay.
Everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.